we greet the beginning of the day. So we greet the beginning of the day. I am literally just about to get up, trying to make sure I'm not looking too terrible on screen. But I did want to make this statement while it was fresh in my mind. I have a million things to do and 1,000 places to be. But I wanted to make this statement before I got started with all of that, because I truly want to make sure that whoever needs to hear this hears this. When it comes to the space that the feminine and that women hold in the universe, that is unmatched. The Anago people, the Yoruba people say, nothing is its equal. They say, bend your knee to woman, for it is woman that brought you into this world and knew you before you knew yourself. And they say nothing is equal to that. The Yoruba say, Orisha Biyao Kosilaye. There is no God on earth like mother, like woman. And they say nothing is its equal. I'm starting with that to set a precedence for what the feminine, what the woman is in the universe. So with that, there is a type of connection that the feminine and that woman has to the universe that is unmatched. Nothing is like that. It is its own thing. And this connection allows us to see when something is off, to see when something is wrong, to feel, to intuit when something is harmful. And very rarely are women silent about the things that are harmful. Very, very rarely. Usually when something is predatory and bad and harmful, women speak out against it. Women say, this hurt me, and this has the potential to hurt other people. This is bad. It looks like it might cause harm. This is terrible. Let us beware and be wary of this, because this thing appears to be terrible. Women usually are speaking out and yelling and protesting those things which are harmful. But you see this system that we live in now. You see this system that was created for the purpose of harm. Created for the purpose of preying on life itself. Created for the purpose of exploitation. Because women are usually going to speak up against things that are harmful, this system put a stopgap measure in. As the system was being created, they created with this system a way to silence women and a way to make our words unimportant. Well, they created many ways, but this is the way we're going to talk about this morning. And the way that is most often used to silence women is ugly, right? Because ugly does not just mean that you're physically unattractive. Ugly means you are less than human. Ugly means your words and your feelings are unimportant. Ugly means we can do whatever we want to do to you and you have to take it. Ugly means you are a commodity. You are not alive. You are something that can be abused and mistreated. All of that is wrapped up in the term ugly. And so ugly in this heinous system is a behavioral modification tool. And I'm going to tell you how. When I was young and Anita Hill said, "Do not put this man on the Supreme Court. He is a predator. He is terrible. He will create terrible laws, and he will put terrible laws in place because he's a predator." That's what Anita Hill said. And do you know what the world said to Anita Hill? "You are ugly. You're mad because you're ugly. And you're mad because he chose someone who isn't ugly." And so her entire testimony, she didn't want this man. She was not trying to be chosen by this man. Matter of fact, she was trying not to be chosen. But her entire testimony was invalidated by that is not even just a phrase. It is an entire way of thinking, ugly, right? Her whole testimony was invalidated by the use of this thing called ugly, right? Years ago, most of y'all are too young to remember, a woman called Sister D, look it up, Google it, watch the YouTube videos about it, was a huge, powerful force in hip hop. But she also spoke out against the predatory behaviors that were happening in hip hop. And she, while speaking out against it, she was supporting and pulling up the positive aspects of hip hop. And she was assaulted in public for doing this by big hip hop moguls at the time. And do you know what they said to her? "Nobody can assault you. You wanted it because you are ugly." And nobody listened to what she was saying, and nobody spoke up in her defense, even though if people saw this happening to her. Because when you bring in that term ugly, it completely invalidates anything a woman is saying. It invalidates that. Ugly is not just a word that means you're not desirable. Ugly is a tool that is used to change your behavior. Ugly is a tool that is used to silence you or to make others not listen to what you have to say. That's what ugly is in this heinous society that we live in. For decades, women in the Congo, women in the Sudan have been crying out and saying terrible things are happening to us and to our children. For decades, this has been happening. And nobody listened because everybody said no one would be praying on you women because y'all are ugly. Nobody would be praying on y'all. Y'all are ugly. And so their words were falling on deaf ears. And so nobody was listening to what they were saying. Right? Before I was born, the black mothers that came before me created a group called the Cohambi River Collective. And they spoke about everything that black women needed in the black community. They spoke about the type of protections that we needed. They spoke about the type of support that we needed. They spoke about the resources that we needed to continue to live in these communities. And y'all have never heard of the Cohambi River Collective. Y'all think feminism was started by white women. Do you know why? because the women who formed the Cohambi River Collective were ugly. And so nobody listened to them. Nobody repeated their words. I'm one of the few people that repeats their words. Right? Because they were ugly. And people would say the reason y'all are trying to be feminists is because y'all are too ugly to be chosen. Ugly is a behavior modification tool. Ugly will silence you, and ugly will keep other people from listening to you. Right? Even when you're saying the right thing, even when you're speaking what is true, even when everyone else can see that what you're saying is what is right and what is true. If you are a woman, if you are a feminine thing in this system, and somebody calls you ugly, nobody has to listen to your words. Your words are stricken from from existence, right? Nobody has to pay attention to you. As a matter of fact, if you're ugly, people laugh at your abuse. People laugh at your assault. People speculate on how you must have wanted it. Right? Ugly is a behavior modification tool. Let me share with you before I end this video. Years ago, our dear sister Sylvia Boone, and if you were in class last night, you heard this. Our dear sister Sylvia Boone went to Sierra Leone in West Africa, and she studied the lives of the Mende people. And she wanted to know what their ideas of beauty were. And the Mende people told her that beauty is a force in the universe. It's the magnetic force of the universe that is held by women, that is held by feminine things. That's what the Mende people told her. And they told her that to be beautiful, a woman must be deeply black, because that means she gets to spend lots of time out in the sunshine. They said to be beautiful, a woman must have rings on her neck, because that means she gets lots of time to eat good and nourishing food. They told her that to be beautiful, a woman must have highly intricate, beautiful, soft, woolly hair that is styled intricately in braids and plaits, that is woven with thread, because that means that she takes the time to attend to her hair, that she loves touching herself and loving on herself. This is what the Mende people, our ancestors, understood beauty to be. The magnetic power of a feminine thing, right? It is the purview, and women hold that. And so, after hearing all of these things that are beauty, Sylvia Boone asked, then what makes a woman ugly? And do you know what the Mende people said? I want you to always remember it. She said, what makes a woman ugly? And the Mende people said, nothing that has a vagina can be ugly. Nothing that has a vagina can be ugly. Believe that. Remember that. Speak up and speak out. Refuse to participate in bullshit. Say what you have to say. Be the renegade. Be the revolutionary. Be the one at the forefront that everybody is saying should sit down and shut up. That is the girl I have been my whole life. I have been the girl that everybody says should sit down and shut up. Please sit down and shut up. That's what people have wanted me to do since I was born, right? But remember that you are the holder of the magnetic force of beauty, that your black skin and your woolly hair and the rings on your neck from eating well make you the holder of the magnetic force of beauty. And remember that according to our philosophy, according to our culture, nothing that has a vagina can be ugly. It's not possible. All right. Ecstasy, abundance, and bliss to all of those within the sound of my voice who are wishing the same for me and mine. And we wish the lessons of life always on those who wish us otherwise. Peace, y'all.